What's good? It's time for another Q&A. It's been a little while, right? I'm just gonna ask away. I'm not even gonna bother with screenshots, to be real. I'm not gonna lie. Who feels like doing that? So I'm gonna just go all over the place. I have questions from Snapchat and from Instagram, and we just gonna get right into it, okay? Thank you, by the way, for all of those who asked questions. What side do we want it on today, kids? Huh? What are you doing here? What are you up to today? Whatever you want, the usual. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm gonna go with the Snapchat questions first. Jessie B 17 asked, what's going on with your modeling? I got a lot of questions about this actually. Long story short, for those of you who don't watch my blogs and like keep up with my life, I have been signed to an agency since about July-ish, a little bit before July, I guess, is when I first signed with an agency here in Atlanta. The shoots and stuff you see me doing and posting on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should probably follow me on Instagram. Those pictures and stuff that you see are me just building my portfolio and getting more comfortable with being in front of the camera. They're not actual, like, you know, cover girl shoots or anything, but we're working on it. Just wait on it. But no, they're just me like building my portfolio and just getting pictures and trying different looks and just experimenting for the most part and getting more into this world. I feel like I have to kind of fake it until I make it, so that's kind of what that is. You know, I'm still like pursuing it, I guess. It's not one of my #1 priorities, but I do really enjoy it and it has been really fun. I have a shoot at least once a week and it's been challenging and fun and I like it. What would be your ideal holiday/vacation place? Love from Australia. I love when you guys tell me where you're from, by the way, so please comment down below right now where you're watching this from. I love just knowing that. That makes me so happy. Like, in Australia, somebody looked at my face for longer than 2 seconds. That's crazy. My ideal holiday vacation place. Well, Greece was a big one and we went there. Costa Rica was also a big one and we went there. So right now, Brazil is definitely a place that I need to go before I die. Well, as I would love to go to Ethiopia or just like more of Africa in general. I've been to Egypt, which is in Africa, but I just want to see more of Africa. Australia is actually probably top 3 too. There's so many places I want to go. I'm gonna just say Brazil for right now because that's always the first like big place that comes to my head that I want to go. Do you sometimes find yourself comparing yourself to people that are your age that have 9-to-5 jobs, that have kids, a house, etc.? What? It's really hard not to compare yourself. Not in a way of like somebody's better or worse, but just in a way of like, yo, their life is way different than mine is right now. Like, that's really crazy. Like, they have children and they're married and like their priorities are totally not what mine are right now. But I don't really like think of it as like a negative or positive or like I said, better or worse kind of thing. It's just kind of like, that's their life, that's their journey, this is mine. Any tips on how to be more confident? I thought about making a video about this, but I was like, does anybody care? Like, there's so many videos like that out there, but if y'all want me to make one, I gladly will. But as far as like how to be more confident, I've preached it too many times. But I think knowing yourself and spending a lot of time with yourself makes it really easy to love yourself. I have a blast when I'm by myself. I talk to myself, I be singing, I be dancing. I like sometimes I'm like, is this healthy to have this much fun by myself? I don't know if it is, but I think ultimately like really spending time and knowing yourself makes it easier to love yourself, thus making confidence a way easier thing to adapt to. And just stepping out of your comfort zone, I feel like always kind of builds confidence because you're like conquering fears and it kind of like boosts the ego a little bit, like, hey, we did this thing that we didn't think we'd ever do. Whether that be big or small things, like, you know, it doesn't matter. Can y'all see these bags under my eyes? Because I feel like I can see them from over here. You got a few for me. Rafa Pintara. Sorry, I'm butchering everything. Hey Casey, here are my questions. Okay, how do you cope with criticism of social media? I don't really get it too much on like Instagram and Twitter. I get more love than hate, but on YouTube definitely is where my biggest critiques are. I just don't really care. I don't know, like that's not really in me. I've never been a person to get really caught up in like what someone else thinks of me in that way, because like what people say about others is really just a reflection of themselves. So I mean, and I take genuine criticism. Like if somebody has like some tips and they're like, hey, you should probably do this, or like maybe don't do this next time, or whatever, or like, hey, this looks good on you, that doesn't look good on you, like stuff like that. Like I definitely am like, oh, okay. But as far as just like bashing me, what's that got to do with me? That has everything to do with them. Can you and how do you trust new people with your heart when in the past others have hurt you? Definitely a difficult question. Definitely a difficult thing to do that I myself have struggled with in the past. Not so much anymore. I feel like I'm pretty open now. I used to be very closed off when it came to this idea. Like I was like, my heart is my heart and nobody is good enough for it. Now I'm just like about experiences and life experiences, and it's hard to trust new people, especially when someone has like really altered your idea of trust completely. Like, I totally feel you. But holding yourself back from a new experience or an opportunity just because of what someone else did to you is really not fair to you or another person. And you know, that's the thing that like you kind of have to remember, and it's like bittersweet. That's like, not that this new thing might not last, but like if it doesn't, still be happy that it happened, and be happy that that thing before you that might have altered your trust happened. Like, these are things that have built you to be who you are today, and like they're not necessarily like negative things. So if you just change your perspective on it, change your life. How do you not give up on your dreams, and what is your biggest belief in life? I don't really know what my biggest belief in life is. That's really broad. The first thing that comes to my head is that like, so many things that come to my head. I would say just like how powerful the mind is, but like I don't know if that's what you were going for, because the mind is such a powerful thing. Like, literally everything stems from there, literally everything. And I would say it's very overused and cliche in the spiritual world, but like the energy you put out and even the words and thoughts you say are manifestations of the vibrations of your mind. The mind is ultimately very powerful. Anyway, we're not gonna go that deep. How do you not give up on your dreams? Consistency. Kind of always like looking back and reflecting on the journey thus far, because it's really easy to give up. That's the easy thing to do. Why take, you know, it's easy to just be like, well, you know what, I quit. But if you look at like the progress you've made thus far, or even if like you're just starting out, like think about how good it's gonna feel when you look back on this day and you're like, yo, remember that time you were about to give up? Oh, man, I'm so glad I didn't. Like, imagine if I did. Like, that always helps me motivate myself, because when I look back on like challenges and things, I mean, the first thing that came to mind is like veganism, to be honest. There was days where I was like, I'm just gonna be a vegetarian. And I'm just so happy that I didn't just give up on me. Being vegan has just changed my life in more ways than one, but that's another thing. So I think reflecting is a big part of moving forward, but don't hold on to your past too hard. It's a balance. Next question. I'm trying to get through all of them. What is your best memory of college? Ooh, that is really hard. Oh man, there's so many. I mean, the most recent ones are sticking out to me because they're so recent. Senior year was just so great. Like, senior year of college was so great. Sophomore year was really great too. Okay, a few come to my mind. I'm just gonna like list them up. I would say like Puerto Rico for spring break. I vlogged about that with Rowan and Zaina. That was just so much fun. Like, that was, I was smiling for like 4 days straight. I had a smile on my face, like so much fun. That was definitely top 5. Photographing all the concerts I ever photographed, which isn't like one memory, but like this, that experience as a whole, and like getting into concert photography, which is something I never even like considered. I got really heavily into it and started getting reposted, and Lil Wayne posted my picture, and like Chris Brown posted my picture. Like, all those little things as a whole, like that felt really good in my growth as a photographer. Are there any other big ones I want to name? I want to say Halloween weekend of senior year as well. That was another really good weekend. Another one that was super fun. Lauren came to town, my best friend. Y'all remember her. It was just a good weekend. What attracts you to people? That's a broad question, but I always say that I really like human interaction, and I feel like we grow as people when we interact with each other. What attracts me to people? I mean, kind of like the general thing that I think anybody is attracted to is somebody else's like energy and like overall like tone and vibe. Like, you know, if I feel like somebody's kind of on the same wavelength as me when it comes to like intellectual and mental stance in life, I guess, that definitely attracts me to somebody. And I really am appreciative of humbleness. Somebody that's very humble, traveled the world and done all these things, but if you like don't have an ego with it, that is something that I really admire. What is your favorite color and why? My favorite color is blue, and why? I don't know, girl. I think because I'm just cool. Like, not like I'm cool because I'm lame, but because I'm like cool-headed, and like, I don't know, blue is just always, I'm looking around my room. Blue is just always like what I gravitate towards. Like, not necessarily to wear, like I have blue things, but how often do you go to the spas or nail salons? Never ever. I wish I did more, but my bank account isn't there yet, but wait on it. What are your spiritual beliefs? So my spiritual beliefs are, I am spiritual and not religious. I've answered this before actually in a Q&A a long time ago, but I've definitely developed a lot since then. This could be a whole video. It's funny that you asked this, because lately I've been trying to like put it into words what I believe in, because I've realized what I believe in, but I don't really know how to put it in words. To be generic, I guess universal thoughts and consciousness. Believe in a higher being, definitely. There's more to life than just me. And I believe in a God, and I believe in a spiritual realm, but I don't follow necessarily religion. Like, I meditate daily, and that's my kind of form of prayer, as well as I read a lot of spiritual books. So I don't know if that answers your question. I don't really have a label for it. I'm not an atheist, and I'm not religious. I am spiritual. I believe in a higher conscious and a higher power. But that could be a whole video. What is your favorite song at the moment? My favorite song at the moment? Let me go to my Apple Music. I'm really feeling Sabrina Claudio's album has just been like a go-to for me, like no matter what mood I'm in. So I kind of am really feeling Belong to You by Sabrina Claudio. If you've never heard of it, you need to. You're welcome. Oh, I really love Sometimes featuring Logic by Snowa Allegra. I don't know if that's how you say her name at all, but you see it though. That's the album art. Really feeling that album as well as that song. What is your favorite TV show at the moment? I don't watch TV, girl. Not even a little bit. What non-vegan food do you miss the most? Coming from a fellow mixed girl. What up, boo? I don't really miss any of it, because if you ask most vegans, the way that food makes you feel is just something that is I will never miss, like at all. There was a period in time, I guess I can confess that, like, it's not even a confess, that made it way bigger than it should have been, but there was a period of time when I like first, well, this was when I was vegetarian actually, I really missed hot dogs, which is like trash. I didn't even eat a lot of hot dogs to begin with. I think I was like at an event and I smelled hot dogs, like it was like a barbecue or something, and I was like, yo, I really miss hot dogs. But veggie dogs exist, and there are good ones. There are really gross ones, but there are good ones out there. Everything that is non-vegan, there is a vegan replacement, and so I don't miss none of that shit. When's your birthday? My birthday is coming up. Not for real, but it's not that far away. January 5th, mark your calendars. I will be 24 and crying 24 times because I'm old. What did you study in college and why? I studied advertising and public relations. Why? Because I've always been into the visual, creative side of life. I'm a right side person all day. Right side brain. Right brain? I can't talk. The right side of my brain is what I tune into the most. So I've always been into the visual arts. I love photography, advertising, just kind of fit. What are some tips for exercising / eating healthy and being consistent with it? Tips for beginning vegetarian. So I have a video that is totally about when I first went vegetarian, and I have tips for going vegan as well. I can link all this down below, boo, like help you out, get your life right. But some tips for exercising and eating healthy and being consistent with it. Listen, I'm still struggling with this. I don't know who y'all think I am, like I got it together, because I still got work to do. But I think being consistent with it is the hardest part, right? Like that's the hardest part about the gym, eating healthy, everything, not eating snacks. It's just like, man, I gotta stay consistent with this to see results. And it's really hard because you wanna see results like that, like a week goes by and you still don't have the abs that you thought you'd have, and you're like, well, this is dumb, this isn't working, I don't wanna do this. But like I said, quitting is the easy route out. So if you look back on the progress, think about how this is gonna be a part of your life, like your success story, that always excites me. Like when I think about like, yo, these struggles are gonna be so crazy when I tell this success story, because I'm gonna look back on these so proud of myself. So that's a big thing for me. But other than that, the thing that I like to do, that I've like kind of gotten back into, is writing down what I eat, or just kind of like tracking in general, like exercise and eating. Like I have one of those like desk calendars, and I write down every day what I've eaten, the days that I work out, I mark that off. And a thing for me that I've also kind of added to that is how I feel when I eat them, after I eat the food, like just to kind of like record how it is working for me. Your physical weight is a big reflection of your mental weight. I have to make a video about that, but that's a big deal to me, like because food has such a direct impact on you emotionally and mentally and spiritually and everything. I like to record how it makes me feel as well, which usually motivates me to continue going. What are some tips on saving money? Girl, I wish somebody would tell me, because I don't know. I really don't know. I am like a 7-year-old with a bank account. I don't know how to act. I don't know how people save money. How do y'all do it? Oh, actually, funny that you asked this, because I just downloaded this app and hopefully it helps somebody, because it's kind of helping me, I think. I don't know. It's called Capital, but it's with a Q. So basically it has like all these different like ways to save money. I'm trying to pay off my credit card bill right now that is outrageous, and so I'm like trying to put money aside for that. So I've saved $6.32, which is like, but I just started. But right now I have it so that every time I spend money anywhere, it rounds up to the next dollar, and that change gets put into this little saving. They have like other really cool ways. So they have the roundup rule, they have the spend less rule. Like if you set a budget and you come in under it and you save the difference. Does that make sense? Then there's the guilty pleasure rule. So every time you buy things you're trying to resist, I don't know how it knows that, but somehow you can set it up so that like if I were to go get ice cream right now, like I gotta put that amount away. The set and forget, so that's like setting up just automatic withdrawals. They also have it connected to like Apple Health, so if you hit a fitness goal, somehow that does something. There's a bunch. Anyway, all that to say that was a really cool app, and I hope it works for me or somebody else out there. But yeah, like that's it. That's all. Just threw my phone and really was like, please don't hit the wall. I tried to answer as many questions as I could. Thank you guys so much for all of them. I really like doing Q&As. I really do. If you guys want me to bring these back monthly like I used to do, let me know in the comments down below. Also, like I said, comment down below where you are watching this video from. Let me know. I want to know. I guess that's it. That's all. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching.
My talent shines through, changing you from a sleeper to a cheerleader. Face life, face death, I don't fear neither. See my mode, nigga, cold as a freezer. Fuck all the doubters on the outs like receivers. Heating up the streets, your block high fever. Front like you don't know, nigga gon' reach.